Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Jai Guru Dev Nitai Gora Haribol 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 Gora Haribol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacacharya Stottara Jata Shishimada Bhai Chanvavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. Glory, glory to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga, glories to Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Jai Śrī Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Śrī Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai 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 Śrī Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, welcome to everyone to the morning class of today Caitanya-caritāmṛta. It's always a pleasure to be here. I really like this temple, the mood and the devotee here. So thank you for everything what you are doing for propagating Krishna consciousness and serve His Holiness Śrīla Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Śrīla Prabhupada. Thank you very much to everyone. So I was asked to say something about the pastime with Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu and Keshava Kashmiri. So we are going to read these verses. The sloka is the 89. It's in the end of the chapter, but you will understand why we did read, because it's very crucial, it's a very important passage. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāna, Sarasvatī, mora, kariyāchena, kopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa. paḍuyā, Some more?
paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa.
Ladies?
paḍuyā, bālaka, kaila, mora, buddhi, lopa. jāni, Sarasvatī, more, kariyāchena, kopa.
Paḍuyā, student. Bālaka, a boy. Kaila, maid. Mora, my. Buddhi, intelligence. Lopa, lost. Jāni, I can understand. Sarasvatī, Mother Sarasvatī. More, with me. Kariyāchena, must have been. Kopa, hungry. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. This mere boy have blocked my intelligence. I can therefore understand that Mother Sarasvatī has become angry with me. Purport. In the Bhagavad-gītā, it is clearly said that all intelligence comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is situated in everyone's hearts as the Paramātmā. The Paramātmā gave the paṇḍita the intelligence to understand that because he was proud of his learning and wanted to defeat even the Supreme Lord, by the will of the Lord and through the agency of Mother Sarasvatī, he had been defeated. One should not therefore be too proud of one position. Even if one is greatly learned scholar, if he commit an offenses to the lotus feet of the Lord, he will not be able to speak properly, in spite of his learning. In every respect, we are controlled. Our only duty, therefore, is to surrender always to the lotus feet of the Lord and not to be falsely proud. Mother Sarasvatī created a situation to favor the champion Pandit so that he might surrender unto the Lord Mahaprabhu, Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Om Jnana Timirandasya Garam Jana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Śrī Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamarayam Dadati Sva Padantika Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Hevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in the pastime of the Lord Caitanya within his childhood. So Caitanya Mahāprabhu at the time was a very young boy, but most probably most of you know that he was already a learned scholar. And of course, Lord Caitanya is Krishna himself, doesn't need to go to school, he doesn't need to go to study, but in some way he managed the situation that he did. And when he was like little more than 10, was like 11, 12 years old, he was already considered as a very important person, very learned scholar. And so many people, so many students, so many young guys, they was approaching him and should learn grammar, no? Because that was the basis in the past. Start learning from grammar, and after you go to the different philosophy, go more deep and deep and deep. And he was just sitting on the bank of the river and just giving some instruction, teaching to the student. And his very important scholar, Keshava Kashmir, he arrived. And he has a title. He was quite famous, this man, because he was one of the most learned scholars. He has a title of Digvijaya. That means Digvijaya is the one who is able to defeat everyone around with the philosophy. And when this man he come to know that these young boys, this Nimai, he was giving some teaching. So he approached him. He say, "Okay, so I'm here." And one of the purpose that Keshava Kashmiri has traveling all over India was just to meet other scholars and defeat them. You know better than me that in the past was a quite common way, of entertainment between the people. Nowadays we have television. So many people, they are looking movies, they are looking film, shows and everything. But at the time there is no television, and the most popular way just to meet the people, to gather the people, was one the wrestling. In the past was the wrestling, and the other one was the philosophical debate. So the common people, they like to go to the wrestling to see the wrestling, and the people that was fighting for the pleasure of everyone. And also the philosophical debate was something really relevant. Not only in India, I can say, because I'm coming from Italy, but during the time when you're talking 400 or 500 years ago, was quite common even in our country. So the learned people, they was just, in our country was little different, because people, they was just going around and telling the story of the emperor, of the king, or whatever it is. Maybe in India was almost the same, but also with the tendency to speak much more about God. And we see now the Krishna Katha Rama Katha is very popular still nowadays in India. But the time was even more relevant to have this philosophical debate. So he came with the intention to defeat the paṇḍita, the learned scholar, when Caitanya Mahāprabhu was there. So he moved these young guys. And these young guys was quite famous. Keshava Kashmiri, I say, you know who I am? Say, one of the most learned scholars. And you know that the mood of Caitanya Mahāprabhu was very simple. He say, I'm a boy, a simple boy, I don't know. You are the scholar. And this Keshava Kashmiri told him, yes, but I come to know that you are teaching. And he say, maybe you are very young. Just to become a learner in preliminary of the grammar, you need 12 years. Because it was the time that was required to go into different study of the grammar, And they say, you are not 12 years, you are nothing. Maybe you are juggling with all the philosophy. You are just a smart person. You are able to mix everything and just give some instruction. So you are not a scholar. You are nothing like that. You are just a person, young boys, smart, able to mix the philosophy and try to give some instruction to the people. And Caitanya Mahāprabhu say, in my opinion, say, okay, that's like that. You are so great scholar. So, but because our fortune to have you here, maybe you can teach something to us. And, Keshava Kashmiri become even more proud. After I say, oh, yes, the biggest scholar am I. So, what do you want to do from me? And Caitanya Mahāprabhu say, maybe you can glorify the Ganga. You can give some explanation about Ganga. He say, okay, let's see, wait 1 hour. And after he went somewhere, and in 1 hour he composed 100 verses, 100 sloka, glorify the Ganga. And when he come back, he say, you see, I already did. I'm very, very important scholar. He say, and he start to quote all the sloka, all the verses. And Caitanya Mahāprabhu, the Ādi-līlā, was listening. And because he was just repeating very quickly, it's saying that Caitanya is like blowing all the sloka, all the verses. And when he finished, he say, are you satisfied now? You see how great I am? And my partner say, yes, but maybe there can be some fault in some expression. Maybe there is something that is not really, say, fault in my sloka. You see, guys, even he's trying to say, you're just a little guys, you don't know, even you are not expert. He underlined also this aspect, that you have not followed all the process to become a scholar. You are just a young boys. Just keep your position and render obeisances to me, that I am the most learned person. But Kesha Mahāprabhu say, okay, what are the faults that you can find? There is no fault in my sloka, what I compiled. And Caitanya Mahāprabhu picked one of the verses and he said, okay, in these verses, this particular verse, you have some 5 good things that they are glorifying the Ganga, and the other, we have also some 5 faults. And Kesha Mahāprabhu say, how is possible that you just listen once and you memorize all the sloka, and you are able to pick one and just to make some analysis of that? And in my pan, they say, okay, I am a simple boy, but I have good quality, Shrutidhara. I am able to memorize everything is said to me. And Prabhupada is explaining in the Purport that we know that in the past, the people, they were able just to listen once and to understand fully the concept that was expressed in the talking or in the sloka, and they were able to repeat. So, say, by chance, I have this quality, so I can remember. And he started to make all this explanation. And of course, Kesha Mahāprabhu was becoming very surprised. How is it possible that such a little young guys, little boys, is just so deep, and he really catch the point of the philosophy. But he don't really want to admit the problem. And again, in another discussion, during the discussion, Caitanya Mahāprabhu say that like the man should be like a tree that is giving fruit. No? So the fruit, when the tree is full of fruit, it bow down. No? He bow down to the land. It's exactly when the man is full of fruit, that is full of knowledge, you have to bow down. No? Not just to have to keep this scholarship, this learned capacity of just for his son. He had to be very humble. He established the principle, because we come to these verses. It's not because you know the things, you are expert, that automatically means that you understand all the point. We meet some situation like that. Even in my country, Italy, some university, they are teaching Sanskrit. More than one. We have more than one. And they are going also into the Vedic literature. Some of them, they study Bhagavatam. Some of them, they study Bhagavad-gītā. I know some professor or some student, they are memorized much more sloka than the normal devotee do. It's interesting because sometimes I spoke with them, they starting to quote Bhagavad-gītā, and Bhagavata is just repeating the sloka. I say, okay, you are very learned scholar. But if you go to check how they really understand the point, that's another topic, is another question. Because we know that one thing is jnana and one thing is vijnana, just to really understand what we are studying. And we cannot really understand, we cannot offer service to the Lord. So that's the same situation. And Caitanya Mahāprabhu, in a very humble way, he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he was showing the Lila as a boy, full of respect for this man, Kesha Mahāprabhu, but he put it in face in front of the mirror and say, hey man, look at that. You are so learned, but you don't catch the point, you don't understand the point. If you want to be defeated by someone, I'm here. A young boy can defeat you. And that's because we come to these verses when Kesha Mahāprabhu say, oh, what happened? This young boy is defeating me. So this means that maybe Mother Sarasvatī is the one who owns all the knowledge, is angry with me, because Kesha Mahāprabhu, he was considered one of the most dear to Mother Sarasvatī. So he say, how is possible? And Prabhupada explained, as we just read in the verses, that Krishna is the one who is giving you the intelligence and also giving you the forgetfulness. So you can be really, really expert, and after you can understand it. Or maybe you can forget the right word to say when you are in front of some specific situation, because you are thinking that you are the person that own intelligence, own the knowledge, do everything. And this is a common problem all over the world nowadays. Because when people they approach spirituality, they approach religion in general. I don't say any specific religion because we have scholars everywhere, not only in our tradition. One of the most common problem is that they are trusting so much their intelligence. They are not worshiping God, but they are worshiping their intelligence. And another is important to understand that is your intelligence is not something that you grow up with, something that is donated by the Lord. So when you understand this point, the intelligence is a way just to serve the Lord. But if you don't understand that point, you become learned scholar, you become this and that. And even Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvatī, that we know that he was one of the most learned scholars that we have in our tradition. Recent is the top one. And he was also engaged by the Indian government during the time just to carry on the philosophy, whatever it is. And Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvatī warned the devotees, say, be careful, because too much jnana can push down the bhakti. It's interesting. And even Prabhupada was underlining the point that the devotee, they should study every day the books. So it doesn't mean that you don't have to study because the jnana, the study of the scriptures is not important. It is important, but be careful, because cannot become relevant. And that's one of the points that Prabhupada is stressing in underlining in this purport. All this knowledge that we have to be put at the service of the Lord, because otherwise can become something separate. And unfortunately, I saw in few situations that the devotee, they become more and more and more learned, more jāni, we say. And despite to put all the jnana at the service of the Lord, they start to become professor, very important person, and so on. And we saw that the bhakti was completely out. And many of them, nowadays, they are no more in the movement. I have one friend that is becoming professor in one university in my country. She's a really respected professor. But when you talk to him about bhakti, say, oh, John, that's, Krishna consciousness was an experience in my life. I did some experience, it's nice. He said, well, what about, to continue to serve the Lord, Krishna? Yes, it's important, but Krishna, put in the context of the story, you understand the evolution of the story, the evolution of the Vaishnava tradition, blah, blah, blah. Say, yeah, what about Krishna? You were serving Krishna. Yes, it was part of my life in the past, blah, 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 blah. He just go away because he put himself in the center. And because he was putting himself in the center, you are no more able to understand Krishna. You are no more able to serve him. So the real knowledge go down, because you know that we know one of the first verses that we learn is Tesam Sata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogantam Yenamam Upayam Tite. To one who is serving me, I give the intelligence. That doesn't mean the intelligence the normal intelligence. This is the spiritual intelligence. Because spiritual intelligence is completely different from the other intelligence. Because we can have material intelligence, logic intelligence, so many things. It is very nice. You can become an expert in different fields in the world. But if you want to have a spiritual intelligence, the only way to get it is to serve the Lord. If you stop to serve the Lord, if you want to understand the Lord with your intelligence, finish. It's not possible. We know. You have this Damodara pastime, no? It's very famous. If you want to bond Krishna, Krishna run away. But when you want to conquer him with the love, Krishna is there. It is really stay close to you. You can keep in your arms, Krishna, but only through love and devotion. And that was one of the most important teaching that is pastime Chaitanya Mahāprabhu was given to him. He was not using. This is interesting to see how Lord Krishna, in the form of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, is acting, and we see most of his time that he's passing in the heart. He was showing a mood different from Lord Krishna. When Krishna came here, he did the pastime in Vrindavana after he he just performed his duty as a king. You know, he gave a lot of a bath. Krishna is asking something essential. Even in the Bhagavad-gītā, we study all the Bhagavad-gītā, and Krishna says in the end, Sarva dharma parityagya, you have to surrender to me. And Caitanya Mahāprabhu is not in that mood. He's just in the mood of the servant. Even if he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we see he can easily defeat. Say, okay, come here, sit down, listen to me. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You cannot teach nothing to me. But the mood was completely different. The mood was just appreciating what this person is doing in some way, defeating him. And because Keshava Kashvis was a very intelligent person, he understood the lesson. It took some time, but he understood the lesson. And what happened after all this situation? That he understood that this young guy was not a common person. And because he was not a common person, he was in some way giving to order to Mother Sarasvatī to just confuse him. So he said, this should be someone. He understood that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he surrendered to him. That's very nice. And is the mood that we should keep as a devotee when we meet people, we approach people, we preach to the people. Sometimes I saw the devotee that they are a little proud mood. They go there, they want to defeat people. We are not here to defeat people. Caitanya Mahāprabhu, he didn't defeat. He just give some instruction, give some evidence to the people, let people think, and when the people, they transform themselves. So it's not Keshava was not defeated. He was defeated by Caitanya Mahāprabhu, but in a way that allowed him just to think about, to transform himself, and come back and surrender to him. That's very important, because we just want in the mood of defeating people is not what we are doing. And it's also this very famous story between Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Maybe I think you know that the story when again another scholar was coming in Vrindavana just to meet the Vaishnava scholar to defeat them. And when he come to know that Rupa Goswami was the most learned scholar in between the Vaishnava. You remember the story, no? And when he approached Rupa Goswami don't spend even a minute with him. Say, okay, you are better than me. When I had to sign, you win. You win everything. Say, keep. And this man was going around and they said, you see, this Rupa Goswami, he has fear, no? He don't want to meet me because he understand, that I am better than him. So he don't want to maybe show publicly. He prefers just to send me away very quickly. When Jiva Goswami come to know this story, he was becoming very upset. This is my uncle, Rupa Goswami. It's not like that. He's much more learned than this man. He's much more important person. And he said, for the honor of the Vaishnava and for the honor of Rupa Goswami, I will meet this man and I will discuss with him the philosophy. And we know that the story, when they do this meeting, this scholar was so heavily defeated by Jiva Goswami, that was a young guy even, that he ran away out of Vrindavan during the night, because he say, wow, they cannot see him. Everyone was pointing and laughing of him. And when Jiva Goswami come back to Rupa Goswami, say, dear uncle, for the honor of the Vaishnava, to respect yourself, I defeated this puffed up man. And which was the answer of Rupa Goswami? The answer of Rupa Goswami was, you are not a Vaishnava. Go out from Vrindavana. He sent out from Vrindavana. He said, because he was asking, did you transform the heart of this man? And Jiva Goswami said, sorry, I was just thinking, of your honor and the honor of the Vaishnava. I didn't even think about that. He said, you're not a Vaishnava, go out. And he sent him to Mathura. And we know from the story that he was staying many months in Mathura without the permission to come back in Vrindavana, because he said Vrindavana is the only place for a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is not the mood of Vaishnava. But finally, because of course this is Lila, and because of Sanatana Goswami, the uncle and the brother of Rupa Goswami, he spoke with Jiva Goswami, went back to Rupa Goswami, say, I think that he got the lesson. So and Rupa Goswami said, okay, you can come back. and we have this Jiva Goswami, this is one of the most preeminent acharya in our tradition, one of the more learned scholars. So we have to learn from all that. And just I was few days ago in Radhakund. I spent a few days there, and I was used to go for the Mogul Arctic to the temple of His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami. No, maybe some of you know him, some of you remember him. He was the famous Dr. Singh that you can find in the book, a scientist that with Prabhupada founded the Bhaktivedanta Institute. And it's interesting because when he was in the planet, I have a different talking with him, and he was explaining the mood of Prabhupada. He say sometimes the devotee, they misunderstood the mood because Prabhupada say something very confidential. He say, oh, Prabhupada was kicking the scientist, but he say, I never saw something like that. If Prabhupada was, of course, he has very strong position, but in the other hand, he was really close to them. He tried to help them to understand, to move from one step to the others. And he told me, I saw Prabhupada sharing his place of prasada with some scientists. But it's not really common, this kind of thing, because the devotee, they was not really, maybe they don't understood what Prabhupada want. They prepare prasada only for Prabhupada and not for the scientists. And when Prabhupada arrived at Thai, I say, what is the prasada for this man? And they say, Prabhupada, I don't know. You remember, especially in the beginning, the devotee, they were not so expert into that. And Prabhupada said, this man, okay, we can share. They start to share the same plates, just to make friendly with people. Of course, Prabhupada was very strong. His position was very clear. But it doesn't mean that you have to face with the problem, we're not with the person. That's very important. So person has problem, but if the problem leaves the person is a person. It's always a conditioned soul living in this material world, and of course it's completely forgetfulness of who is the relation, who is he, who is the relation with Krishna. They don't know, but they have a problem. You fight with the problem, not with the person. So, and our duty is try to help and transform the people. And we know that we have different kind of people. We have innocent people. We try to do our best just to let them. And when the people that they are not really tuned with us, or maybe they are against us, that's interesting how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining that even with the people that they are doing something completely opposite to your spiritual life, you don't take to associate with them. So it's very clear. No, we don't take to associate with people that are against the principle of religion and so on. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur say that you don't have to associate, intimate. That means you have your research, your study, your philosophy, your belief, or whatever it is. Don't associate with these people. But to the social level, be respectful. And the people, they can start to transform themselves. And we saw many times this, that people in the beginning, they was completely against the devotee, but because the devotee, they keep the right mood. They were not aggressive with them. They start to think. And at least they start to appreciate the devotee for what they are. Maybe they don't understand, they don't agree with you. And after, many people, they were starting with their aggressive mood, and after they start to, doing something different. And I remember one story that His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodara told me that he was in a conference, and he had one man that he was a very preeminent scientist. He was one of the top one in the world. And this man was really against. He said, I can even think about you, Hare Krishna, you are following Krishna the Guru. This is out of the intelligence. An intelligent person just don't do all these things. Was this his position? But he said, because this man was the top level in the world, it was very important to have him in the conference because he gave credit to all the organization, all the meetings. And he say, we were working together years and years and years. It was not disrespectful and the devotee, but just, people losing time. But Maharaj told me that I always keeping a good mood in the relation. And once happened that this man, they were somewhere in the world that he got the news that his son, he get an accident, car accident, very strong. and was really, really in danger of life. And this man was desperate, but said the problem is what for 2 days was not available any flight to go there. So this man was completely desperate. And but Swarupananda say, I didn't did something that was premeditated intentionally. I just look around me, I saw some flowers, I pick a flowers, I say, I pray for you, this is my small gift for your son. And this man, that he was really tough man, he melted himself. He say, but you are supposed to be my enemy. You are the only person that give nice word to me. And so he embraced Bhakti Swarupa Damodar, and he told me, we become friend. Not in a sense that he became friend because he was becoming a devotee, but he was fully respecting the devotee. They were fighting against, but after the fighting, because he has his position, he started to appreciate the devotee. And Maharaj told me, this man, he never took prasada, and he started to took regularly prasada. And after many years, this man, okay, the positions are different, but I say, my dear friend, Bhakti Swarupa Damodar, he was introduced him as my dear friend. Of course, he was completely atheist, and Maharaj was a Vaishnava, but they established a kind of relation. And this person, they can start their evolution. So we have to think something about that. We don't have to compromise our principle, because we are very, very clear, but at the same time, we have to understand which is time, place, and circumstance. And Lord Caitanya, again, we see when he went in Varanasi, he did the same. So he approached the Mayavadi philosophers, and they were very strong against him. But he didn't start to argue with them, to challenge them. He was sitting in the place, listen. And when they asked something to him, he said, okay, everything is nice, but can I say something? And these people, they start to thinking. And of course, we have to use our intelligence, listen from, extract the essence from the story, and listen and to apply to our life. That's very important. Even to tune our speech to the people. You know, because you know this temple is very active. You are dealing with so many people. Many devotees, they know that sometimes you have to understand which is your audience in front of you. And after understanding which is your audience in front of you, you tune your speech. That's very important. Because sometimes the people, they are very far away. So I'm dealing in the Western country, like you know, the word religion in the Western countries is becoming something very difficult to use. People, they don't want to listen the word religion. They don't want to listen the word God. You know why? Because they say, so many problems are going on in the world. So, and some people, they are fighting in the name of religion. So many terrible things is happening in the name of religion. We know that it's not religion. Someone is using the word religion, but the people, they don't know. And that is very strange. If you just underline your position, you have to surrender, you have to do this, people, they just go away. You don't get any result. I remember once I was invited in a lyceum because they has self-organized hours. The student, there was, I don't know if you do also in India, no? They organized for a week all the lesson. They was inviting experts from outside. So they invite 3 representatives of the religion. Was a Catholic priest, a Jewish representative, and myself. So they invite us to speak about something. It was not really clear. So these 2 colleagues, they start to speak about how it is important to put religion in your life, some blah, 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 something like that. Religion is important, why the people is going out of the religion, so they have to do religion, they have to put religion in their life. And the student, one by one, they was running away from the class because nobody was really interested into that. So when I arrived my time, I look my 2 colleagues and say, if I continue like that, we will remain our 3. So what we do was really praying, Krishna, give me the intelligence, because, you know, these students are not interested. And I remember in front of me was one lady with, Che Guevara. You know what is? This man from, revolutionary man from South America, very famous in the past. Looking, Che Guevara was looking at me like in a fighting mood. He say, okay. He say, I don't know. say what to say. But I was thinking about matter and antimatter. You know? You see that there's matter in the world, antimatter in the world. They are looking, they are researching to find the antimatter because the scientists, they know everything from about the evolution of the creation. They know everything, but they don't know where it comes, the energy, just to put everything on. And I looked, this lady was, yeah, okay, that's interesting. And we start to, and you know, some students, they go out of the class, they come back, they call back some friends, so they come back. And we discuss for a long time about the matter, antimatter, what it means. And we come to discuss, you can imagine, about jiva and material body and subtle body. But just because the approach was different. And in the end, all the students, they started to ask me, who is Krishna, what is the role of Krishna in the universe, blah, 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 blah. But if you just approach them in a religious way, people, they are not interested. It's a common thinking in the Western country. They say, I am not a religious man, but I am a spiritual. No? I don't know if it happens also here. No? And I don't want nothing to do with the religion, because religion, they don't like institution, they don't like this, they don't like that. It's very terrible, but I'm a spiritual research. If you look into the dictionary of the philosophical understanding, more or less are synonymous, no? Religion and spirituality. It depends how you read. But the people, they don't want to listen more that. And this phenomenon is going on nowadays, especially the youth all over the world, they want to have a genuine spirituality, genuine research, and try to deeply go understand. They don't want to have any dogma. No, dogma is something that you have to believe, that even if you are not able to understand. And our philosophy is based of no dogma, because you know that even at the first level that we are starting just to understand who we are, no, first we are starting from Shraddha. Shraddha is here to believe in something. It's not that you blindly believe. Okay, you understand, you have faith. You say, if I follow this process, I will understand so many other things. But it's based on self-realization. It's not based on the self-realization of other people. Because anyone has the possibility to have self-realization. And nowadays, the religion, and saying this because I'm doing a lot of interfaith dialogue all around the world, so the people, they don't trust religion because they don't have a spiritual realization. Because they have to go there, their religion say, do this, don't do that, do this. They give some rules, regulation. But people, they don't understand which are the rules and regulation. And even if you go back to the same story with Keshava Kashmi, he was very learned. He know everything, but Prabhupada is making the point, even in the following verses, is making the point in the end of the chapter, that it's not really important that you are so expert in grammar. And Prabhupada make this point that even the person is not, he can commit some mistake in compiling the sloka, whatever it is. But if this person is tuned with Krishna, is serving Krishna, we consider them perfect. So it was not the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to take some fault on him, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he knows better than all of us, all these things. It's not what you are expressing. You can make mistake in grammar, no? But if your intention is good, your heart is good, so this, we have to take this as bona fide. So he's not looking for Keshava Kashmir just to say, you make mistake in grammar. He underlined the point. You think to be perfect. Maybe you are the top one scholar in all the world, but I show you that in your compilation there is some mistake. But if you are not in that mood, you are in a Vaishnava mood, in the devotee mood, even if you make a mistake in compilation, doesn't matter. So this is the teaching that we can get from all these things. Of course, we have to try to do our best, because it's not because we become very superficial. So even, especially if you are involved in studying, exposing the philosophy, we have to go deep and deep and deep and deep. But it's important to put everything at the service of the Lord. It's very important. If you are studying and we are scholar, if you put at the service of the Lord, everything becomes very successful. As we have this scholar in our movement, no? We have this Vaishnava studies group. They are super intelligent devotee, really. I have a relation with this devotee like Radhika Ramana or other. Maybe you come to know them. He was 17 years old. He was already had a degree in university. 20 years old. He has 2 degrees. Now he's a professor. I think it's less than 30. He's a professor since many years. So this is a special soul, that are blessed by special intelligence. But because they are putting all their intelligence, all their knowledge at the service of the Lord, they become the most important one. The one like Keshava Bharati, he can be very deep scholar, but in a sense he don't understand the point. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in a dress of a 11 years old child, say, "Hey man, I can defeat you. So I'm defeating you, not my intention," because he was always very respectful. And even when the other student of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they start to laugh about Keshava Kashmir, Chaitanya would say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You stop immediately then. You don't have to laugh of him. And because of that, he transformed the heart, and the next day can say, "I want to be your servant." You can imagine one very old man, very aged man, going to the young guys and surrender to him. Because he has the intelligence to understand all the situation, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to defeat him at the same time, allow him just to go forward and just make some advancement. I will finish with one story that I just was reading recently. Sasarupa Maharaj, years ago, he made some little booklet, red booklet. I don't know if some of you read. It was some quick story about Srila Prabhupada. And he was remembering that once they were in Calcutta airport, waiting for the flight, and one man come to him. And they discovered that he was kind of minister or someone very important from the government of Bengala. And the devotee, they come to know that he was coming from the Communist Party, so he's quite atheist. And he started to argue very heavily with Prabhupada. And he was talking in Bengali. Most of the devotees, they were Westerners, they were not able to understand, but they saw there was really, really intense fighting was going on. And so the devotee tried to understand. And when finished, this man, they left Prabhupada, go away. And Prabhupada come back to the devotee and say, "You saw what happened?" And so he said, "Yes, Prabhu, you beat this guy." Hey, don't say that. And Prabhupada said, "Don't try to do what I did. Don't try to do that." And the devotee don't understand. He say, "Why? You defeat this man." They try to understand, this is a communist, you defeat him. And Prabhupada said, "Don't do that. I am an old man. I am a Swami from here. I am Bengali. He is Bengali. In some way, it's something that I can do." And the devotee say, "Okay, but what happened?" They say, it's written that after 1 month or something that this man come to the temple. Because maybe he want to fight again with Prabhupada, I don't know, but he came to the temple. So the result of this fight in the Prabhupada did was transformation of the person. He helped the people to go. He just got, if you just defeat someone for the pleasure of defeating the people, it doesn't work. So we go back to all the story. It's not from the teaching of Mahaprabhu, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there. The teaching of our Acharya is not that. We are looking to transform the people. Sometimes it's needed. Some people, they need to be faced in a strong way. But we are not using the strong way just for our glorification. We do this because sometimes the people, they need to be shocked a little just to move forward with the mercy. So we need to have karuna to people, give everything. So if someone, when it's needed, we have to tune up our intelligence. If you use our intelligence, you can understand time, place, and circumstance. But the mood is never to affirm that we are the best. We are servant. So try to be the servant of the servant. This is our mood. So nowadays we have this coronavirus, this big discussion everywhere. But we have to use karuna. Karuna virus is much more effective. If you are able to spread this virus, you can really change the world. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. And if you have any comment, question, or
Haribol. Mike.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for your class, Prabhu. One question I have is, you talked about the need to be intelligent, and when you're with people, you need to be able to say the right thing. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You gave the example of people talking about religion, and that's chasing people away. My question in this regard is that there are situations where you know all the rules, you know what you should say, or you have some idea, and then all of a sudden you're in a situation that you didn't anticipate, and you end up saying the wrong thing, and then people go away. And so my question in this regard is, how much is it really a matter of knowing how to preach according to time, place, and circumstance, and how much is it a matter of nature? That, if you're a Kanishta Adhikari, you're going to do Kanishta things. And if you're a Madhyama Adhikari, then you don't do those things naturally. So my question is, in this matter, is when you're preaching, how much is it a question of intelligence and experience, and how much is it a question of nature when, preaching to people?
Thank you for the question. It's very important. Of course, anyone has his nature. You don't have to show something that you are not. So first of all, be honest. If even some people, they are making you some question, they invite you somewhere, you don't have to invent nothing. You say, okay, sorry, I am not an expert in that field, and we don't want to go in the place just to show that we are the best. And the people, they appreciate a lot. Personally, I'm invited in so many different meetings, some scientific meeting, academic meeting. But people, they know that I am not one of them. But because they want to know our point of view. So if you approach the people in the right mood, it's okay. But of course, you have to prepare yourself. And that's very important. When they invite you to talk about some specific topic, try to give some information about that. Don't go that just because you are a devotee that everyone will to accept. You have to be tuned with the situation. If they invite you to speak about Ayurveda, and you don't know nothing about Ayurveda, be honest. Say, I'm not an expert. I can call my friend. If my friend is not available, I can come and give a little contributor by my point of view. But don't try to be something that you are not. And even one important thing is when you go to some meeting, talk about yourself, don't talk about the other. That's another very important point. I remember that we are organizing in our temple every year one conference on the value of peace. So we mix academic world and we discuss many things. And in that specific occasion, the main topic was vegetarianism. No? And when we talk about vegetarianism, I invite one devotee that is one of the top chefs in the world. He's a devotee. Maybe people, they don't know outside. But when they go in the restaurant, they eat prasada because he is offered the food. And he started to talk about the vegetarianism in Catholic tradition. No? He was start to say something that I know that in between the devotee is quite common, that understanding. But a friend of mine, that this lady, she's a official theologian, he raised up a stand. You are saying something that is completely nonsense. Because maybe it's your interpretation, but it's nothing to do with our tradition. And you start to have some friction. It's not really useful, because this lady is very close to the devotees. He belongs from other tradition, but he's very close to the devotee, like the devotee. And this devotee, just because he wants to say something that he's not really expert, he just creates a problem. So again, be careful that. So your nature is not that you have to do. Every one of us have the preaching. You have to preach. This is a preaching movement, no? It's not, we are not sitting there and chanting all the time. We know that. But according to the nature of the different person, they could be engaged. It can be someone that can be in front, just giving class, giving seminar, giving lecture. Other nature just help into that, and be exemplary in your behavior, because this is the best preaching. So remember always that, because people, they easily forget the word that you say, no? Especially when they are not really expert in the philosophy. I tell you, most of the time the people, they confuse devotee with Buddhists, because we have a part of the philosophy is quite similar. You know, when you talk about karma, reincarnation, is very similar. So they make a lot of confusion. But what they remember is the mood of the devotee. They remember, oh, these people, they are nice, they're coming here, they are in that mood, they are not puffed up. So be careful on that. Try to understand which is the situation. If it's your nature is another, accept who you are, because the devotional service is absolute. It's not that there is one devotional service that is better than the other. Krishna, he takes the essence, no? And we know that we don't measure the advancement of the devotee on his capacity or her capacity to speak publicly or to take very high position in the movement. Krishna is not impressed by that. Only thing that is impressing Krishna is the devotion. Maybe you have one very simple devotee that for all the life, only things that he can do is to clean, but he clean with the heart. And Krishna love him much more than the other one that is maybe is very expert in do something, but when you go deeper in his bhakti is not too much. Maybe he put himself much more in the center than Krishna. So our nature is important. Of course, we have to cultivate. We have to be able to understand. And if you really want to do something, we have to practice. Get some information. Like I am part of the international communication team. We encourage devotees that they want to communicate outside. Come here, get the courses, get some information, some skill for other devotees, and use that. But the mood should be that one. Even the communication has this mood. Be the servant of the world. That are the main instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Yes.
I will take 5 minutes. I will speak in Hindi. Somebody can translate into English in mic. So somebody can translate on mic. मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा, इंग्लिश में. Yes. English. So give him mic. Yeah. Yes. तो यहाँ पर जो केशव कश्मीरी हैं, उनको 2 प्रकार का आश्चर्य हो रहा है.
Here Keshav Kashmiri is wondering on 2 points.
हाँ, तो एक बात तो ये है कि ये बालक है, ये अभी विद्यार्थी है, पढ़ने वाला है, और इसने मेरी बुद्धि को लुप्त कर दिया.
First point is that this boy is a student, yet he has completely exhausted my intelligence.
और दूसरा आश्चर्य ये है कि सरस्वती देवी ने मेरा पक्ष नहीं लिया.
Second wonder is that Mother Saraswati did not take my side.
हाँ, तो मेरी बुद्धि काम नहीं कर रही है कि जो पढ़ने वाला बालक है, इसने कैसे श्लोक को याद कर लिया जो मैंने हवा की तरह बोला था.
Now my intelligence is not able to reason how this boy was able to memorize the shlokas which I spoke with the speed of the wind.
हाँ, और इसके बाद अगर याद भी कर लिया तो इतनी जल्दी कैसे इसने अध्ययन कर लिया कि 5 प्रकार के दोष और 5 प्रकार के गुण इसमें निकाल दिए.
Even if he memorized, how could he go through them and check them so fast that he found out 5 kinds of qualities and 5 kinds of faults with them.
फिर दूसरा आश्चर्य कि सरस्वती देवी ने मेरा पक्ष क्यों नहीं लिया, उन्होंने मेरी सहायता क्यों नहीं की.
Second wonder is why did Mother Saraswati did not take my side.
लेकिन वास्तव में सरस्वती देवी ने बाद में स्वप्न में उनको बताया.
But actually later on Mother Saraswati revealed to him in a dream
कि मैंने तुम्हारे ऊपर कोप नहीं किया है, तुम्हारे ऊपर कृपा की है.
That I am not displeased with you, or I have bestowed mercy upon you.
हाँ, तो मेरे मंत्र का जप करने का ये फल नहीं है कि तुमने सब जगह सब दिशाओं को जीता.
The fruit of chanting my mantra is not that you conquered all directions.
बल्कि उस मेरे मंत्र के जप का फल ये है कि तुमने आज उनको देखा है जो अनंत ब्रह्मांडों के स्वामी हैं.
But the fruit of chanting my mantra is that you have seen today the master of all the universes.
तो वो भगवान है, साक्षात भगवान है, वो मेरे पति हैं. मैंने जो तुम्हें वर दिया था कि कोई तुम्हें जीत नहीं पाएगा.
He is the Supreme Lord. He is my husband. I had given benediction to you that no one can conquer you.
परंतु मैंने ये वर नहीं दिया था कि तुम मेरे पति को जीत पाओगे.
But I had not given you this blessing that you can conquer my husband.
वो मेरे पति हैं, वो मेरे स्वामी हैं, और मैं उनके सामने लज्जित होती हूँ बोलने में.
He is my husband, he is my master, and I am ashamed of speaking in front of him.
तो तब जो है तब केशव कश्मीरी को समझ में आया कि ये भगवान गर्भ शून्य हैं.
Then Keshav Kashmiri could understand that the Supreme Lord is completely free from pride.
हाँ, तो भगवान अपने को छिपाते हैं, असली भगवान अपने को छिपाते हैं, और नकली भगवान है अपने को दिखाते हैं कि हम भगवान हैं.
The Supreme Lord hides himself, but the false gods show that I am God.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.
राधे राधे चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय. कोई और प्रश्न है?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have heard from somewhere that if someone is speaking against a Vaishnav or someone is speaking against Krishna, then we should get angry. But as you said that in the lecture that Prabhupada got angry and Prabhupada said to other disciples, you don't get angry. So I don't understand what is the...
No, you don't have to stay with someone is speaking against, but you have to understand that some people, they even don't know, they have some prejudice. Very rare just to find people that they are really against, because they have their culture, bad culture, no? So you don't have to stay there, of course. They must not stay there when the people they are speaking against Vaishnava or speaking about Krishna. We know about the scripture, what is said. Go away. But from my experience, it's not really common, that one. Most of the time, the people, they just don't know. They have some prejudice about this, about that. And, you can also act in a way that they start to change. But if someone is really against, just go away. And don't accept this. We don't have to compromise our principle. Even when you go to meet some other people of other religion or atheists, you are there. If they respect you, one of the first things you have to establish in the relation with the people, maybe you have to do this because you have to do public program, whatever. First things, you have to respect each other. I respect you, but you have to respect me. Maybe you don't like as I'm doing, you're shaving the heads, dressing as a dog. Maybe you don't like, but you have to respect me. Otherwise, if there is not this preliminary situation, the dialogue cannot be established. So we are not go there just to please the people that we are fighting. I remember just a couple of years ago, they was inviting me for a public national television. But I know that the intention of this man that was conducting the show was just to raise up a fighting in between the different religions. Say, no, I will not come. I will not. Yeah, but you have to come. It's national. I will not come. It's not our intention to come there just to fight. It is for you, for your show. It's nice, not for us. And you don't have to face with this problem. But even recently, I was asked to go to one program, and they was asking us to go dressed as a devotee because they were using us with the dress just to show that they are able to include everyone. And I will tell them, I will not come dressed as a devotee. I will come dressed as a civilian. Or say, hey, no, you are the representative. You have to come. He said, no, I will not come dressed as a devotee to please you. I come to represent my tradition. No, no problem with that. So we have some kind of discussion. They tune something, and they went dressed as a devotee. But they don't have to use the devotee for their purpose, because sometimes it's not really good. So be careful on that. But don't have to compromise your principle. I suggest you to go to iskconcommunication.org. You can download this booklet. It's called Iskcon and Interfaith. And you can see all these principles that we have in dealing with other tradition, with the institution.
Which book?
Iskcon is a booklet. You can download, and it's Iskcon and Interfaith.
Iskcon and Interfaith.
Yeah. It's a kind of official position of our movement, how to deal with the people, how to act. So the main thing is respect the other, but also don't compromise your principle. And be strong. Especially when you go to deal with other people that they are not really tuned with you, you have to be strong. So keep your sadhana very, very attentive. That's very important. Hare Krishna, thank you to everyone, and thank you again for this wonderful temple and to all the devotees here.